getting the tea. Oh, good morning, everyone. Just hit the button very quickly to record. Here we are again. And today's topic, Rodine.
Today's topic is art and love.
Yes.
In whatever forms happen to show up in this conversation.
Yes.
Which we never know.
No, and that's what I love about doing this. I'm just going into ours. Oops, here we are. So again, like you. Oh, I was such a lovely topic for you to choose. I'm so pleased about that. So this time, I couldn't think of one. So I love the idea of love, 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 love. So tell me, or tell everyone, what sort of got you thinking about love?
Well, of course, because Valentine's Day is on Wednesday, and, everything seems to be focused around love as a theme.
Yes.
And I just thought, what a perfect combination, love and art, because it's so all-encompassing. It can be the personal relationship that you have with your art or your art making, infusing love into the work that you create and sell, sharing that love with your collectors, gifting someone a piece of art. And so I just thought, oh, it's a good one.
It is a good one. It is, because I hadn't even thought that far. So when you said, yes, that's really interesting. And Pam's found us. Hi, Pam. And you love this too. She loves Valentine's Day. Now, because that was going to be something I was going to ask. What do people think of Valentine's Day? And here we've got Pam, who loves it. Do you love Valentine's Day? Or Pam, if you'd like to share why you love Valentine's Day?
Now, did you manage to share to your biz page?
Oh, I haven't even tried that yet.
I'll try.
Okay. Thank you.
See if I can. Okay.
So, and it was interesting because when you brought it up, I had a look at some things that we've already talked about, writing ourselves a self-love letter. So I'm actually going to put that, and I'll put it onto YouTube. So I'm going to put some of these links into the YouTube upload and down the bottom what we've already done, because we realized love was also about self. And I looked back before we'd even thought about this, and I'd written this to myself. Actually, it must have been when we were doing the love letters on the 6th of February. So this is how I did mine. So I wrote it and then did art over it. So yes, she said there's so many different ways, and I didn't get time to read it. So it'd be really interesting to see now. Oh, that was actually last year. This is before you and I were even doing this. So this is actually a year ago. So it'd be interesting to see how I feel about love now. So that's really interesting. And I was just going through some of the things that I'd already done about love. And, I'd found these lovely little novelty stickers that I was going to use. It's amazing how you pick things up.
Yeah.
Sort of everywhere. And as you said, in your art. Now, were you able to share it to my biz page?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so for some reason it won't allow that. And it won't allow me to upload it either. So go figure. All right. So tell me more about your love. Because it's the day before my I love that, Pam. I get 2 days to celebrate this week. Yeah, I love it. Love it. Love. Yes. So tell us more about, I really like that idea of infusing love into your art, because as people who've watched us before, and I've struggled with that because perfection comes in and all that sort of stuff. So I'm still learning how to come in with. And I really loved your one. In fact, I might even put the link in there to your artist, behind the scenes artist one, I'm going to write that down. Sacred Conversation, Rodine. Okay, sorry, I'm waffling here. Go on. Tell me more about that love in your art.
Well, I find, and I think a lot of artists do this anyway, it's their love and passion for what they do.
Yeah.
That they then, I think you can't help but infuse your art with that energy. And so, there are people that will, infuse their art with specific energy, or they put a word behind it, right? Like sometimes they'll put a word on the canvas and kind of use the artwork with the energy of that word. But I think at the root of any word that you pick really is love, right? And a love for what you do, for what you create, but really that energy of love, so that when it does find its forever home or go to a collector, that they get to not just enjoy that piece of art and love it in their own way, but they then also get that extra, you know, bit of love that you have put into its creation. Because it's like birthing a baby, right? So there is a whole lot of love, I think, that goes into artistic, creative endeavors. So that's,
I
yeah.
love that. I hadn't even thought of that. And I love the idea I've written it down. Infuse energy of the word into your art. So that could be any word, really, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hadn't thought of that. Ooh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering
Well,
as well, as you said that, because is the word still visible, or does it go under the part and then it's just that the person will vicariously or subconsciously infuse that word, do you think?
I think a lot of artists it just ends up buried underneath the painting.
Yes.
Some artists, I guess, depending on the style, if they're doing more of a mixed media, they may have parts of it,
Oh,
and you're doing
yes.
it in layers, they may have parts of the word showing up. But yeah,
I really like that. I'm really like that because that's really changed something for me about, again, I love doing these art jams with you because you're teaching me more and more about how to let go of the negative aspect of myself. I can't do it, I'm not good enough, and to be able to look
yeah.
at that. And Pam's written, your comment made me realize the shabby chic style is meant to be imperfect. Oh my god, I'm making puffy flowers and they're definitely shabby chic in style, and I'm not thinking perfect in any sense of the word. See, love, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, what I could even do, so to bring it back a bit, is I could walk in with a word for myself and infuse that in to get started.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could start adding it. Oh my God, that's just opened up a whole nother world. Ah,
And if you really focus and work with the energy of that piece, like it's funny. Oh, it's not that one. I did another one, like the painting behind me, and that one I did with my fingers, and I did another one similar. And actually that other one I was going to, and I will when I get to finishing it, I'm going to actually glue crystals on it as well. Like when I've done mixed media, I have glued crystals on it. And of
ooh,
course, the crystals have certain
yes,
energies too, right? So if you're
yes.
working with a word, you could even get crazy and find crystals that,
I was just going
you
to
know,
say,
work with the word,
word.
right?
Oh, oh,
And you can, here's a little crazy fun fact, on my explorations. Because to glue a crystal on, and then you have to find the right glue. Well, hot glue can work, but then you might want to resin it. But it's a whole rabbit hole,
yeah.
But I also learned you can crush the crystals. So you could put them in a bag and actually with a hammer crush them and then glue the crystal dust onto your painting. I'm like,
Mm.
this is too cool.
That
Yeah.
is too cool. Now, if you had glue, because I'm only just learning about the different things. I haven't got, because I've taken it upstairs. So hot here over the weekend. I've gone upstairs. But there's gesso. Do you know gesso? Would
Yes.
that work to
Yep.
glue it, or is that not strong enough?
No.
No, need stronger.
Gesso is more of a paint to seal a canvas.
Oh, okay.
Like you can paint with it, but it's usually used as a primer for a canvas. Um,
Right. Oh, no, sorry. No, you're right, Jess. No, there was something else, and I haven't got it down here. No, gesso, that's right. No, I've got the wrong one. Because yes, no, there's something
yeah,
else. Okay. I can't think what it is. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. Do you need it? So coming back, do you need quite a strong
you do need a pretty strong glue to glue it down. So you can use hot glue. I mean, I have done that. I did a mixed media piece when I had my workshop from darkness to light. It was a mixed media collage piece. And I did just use hot glue to glue down the crystals. The hot glue doesn't necessarily hold that well for that long. So you could go over it with a bit of resin. There's another glue. I think it's GAC 2000, 4000, something. And that can often be used, like that can be used in mixed media as well. But I think you then have to like clamp something in place. So
Yeah.
I,
No, I was
I
thinking,
haven't really used it.
I was thinking more of just also the crystal, like when you crush them.
Oh yeah, if you do that, and you can always use a Mod Podge
What's a Mod Podge?
or a regular glue.
Oh, regular. Okay, so see, everyone, this is what happens when you have
Well,
no
no,
idea what
Mod
you're talking.
Podge, Mod Podge, it's kind of a glue and sealer, but ultimately it's glue. So you could just
Okay.
use regular white glue and just put it down wherever and then sprinkle your crystals and
God, I'm loving this. That's just opened up. And Pam
yeah.
sort of said she uses something called diamond glaze to stick down crystals.
Oh.
It can actually seems like it can stick down anything. Okay, as long as you don't put my finger on it, might leave it there.
Hey, I haven't heard of diamond glaze.
So there
Ooh,
you
so
go.
that's
Thank you. So,
something else.
this
Thank
is so exciting because as I've looked back over my, journal and my art journal and just sort of seeing the different things have come along, and I'm constantly adding these new things. So I'm going to look at my journal in a different way with, love and what can I do to shift and change. Oh my gosh. See, something like this, when I finished it last week, I could sort of put some little bits of glitter on this, couldn't I? This one.
Oh, absolutely.
In fact, if I wanted to start off before the crystals, I could just get some glitter, couldn't I? And just put it on there.
You can.
I could do that, couldn't I? Just to start off, just to become familiar with the concept. You've called recipes online from Mod Podge. There you go. So, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm loving
And
this.
I don't
See,
know the diamond glaze. Now I'm curious and I want to find that.
yeah, well, that's right. That's right. And I see, again, when I think about how many times do we say, I'm loving this, I love this. I think we don't realize that we perhaps use the word more than we think. It can be part of, is it Judikins product? I don't know how you pronounce that. Judikins, Judikins. So yes, oh
Judkins.
my gosh, we've really gone on a lovely different tangent to what I thought we would. That's why I love doing these with you, because they're always so, so special. So coming back to love, anyone who's watching or on the replay, YouTube, just give us, what does love mean for you? Particularly also something we have focused on was self-love. And as I said, we wrote our own letters around that and did art around that. Because something we find very hard. And I know for me, growing up, I never felt loved. I didn't feel lovable. So it's taken me a long time to get to that point that we are love, however you want to do it. Love is our heart, it lives in our heart. Or I call it in my heart. It could be anywhere in your body. Why does it mean that if we love ourselves, that we are considered perhaps selfish or, self-centered, or, we've got this negative connotation now then, I had to have this false modesty, and why can't you just say you love yourself, you feel confident, you feel attractive, you are attractive, I know I'm attractive, all these things. It's taken me a long, long time to be able to say that with confidence, without ego. What are your thoughts on that? How have you felt with that? Has your art helped you with that?
With self-love?
Yeah. Or love just in general?
I think it has. I think it does, because certainly with self-love, because you have to learn to navigate, like I have said before, when I paint, I will bump up against all kinds of thoughts or blocks or whatever. And so in order to finish a painting, it depends on what I've bumped up against. I have to show myself more self-love, or the painting would never get done. I would just give up and go forget it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think it is, the creative process, I think, is a form of self-love for so many reasons. Just even the enjoyment, like Pam is making, and she makes the neatest things. And so she's now working on these flowers that are so cool, and she loves doing it. So how can your art not just be in your craft or your creativity just not be infused with art, with love, with art and love?
And you've just reminded me when I found out my niece was pregnant, and I wanted to have knitted for 40 years, knit her a pram rug. Mum being old and the way she is, her contribution was financially, and so I knitted it. She did it financially. We brought it together, infused it with Reiki love to give her. But I remember, because a lot of healing's been happening around this, and as people know who've been watching or don't know, I haven't had children. So this was exciting for me. But why I'm saying that to you is every stitch that I did was full of love. Every stitch, I felt the generational of mum's side of the family, not so much my French side, but my mum's Australian English side. I felt the love coming through, being infused, and I've just gone goosebumpy, into this piece for my niece and her daughter. It was a daughter, a lovely little baby, to really feel it. And I've noticed when I go and see her, the rug is always in the pram. She's got it around her all the time, even though she's got other things too. But again, I infuse that with love. So she'll always, and yeah, and my niece and her husband loved that too. So thank goodness they're of that sort of, people, as you said, it was, and I enjoyed knitting it as a consequence. It was just beautiful. And I kept having her, and little messages kept coming through.
Oh.
As I was doing it, it was just beautiful, really beautiful. So there was a connection before the baby was even born, and mum could therefore be part of it, because she's old and she won't be able to hold her easily and all that. So this was a way of, doing that.
Yeah. So you infused it with love.
Yes, I did. Oh my God, all these little stories are coming up. So again, anyone sharing or replay, share. Can you think of any other things? Like, I've got another one, but I'll wait because I'm talking too much. Don't want to share?
No, go for it.
I think, but
I'm playing with glitter.
Oh, and what are you using?
See, this is what happens to people like me. And being an art teacher, I have crystals, I have glitter, because you have to try all the things.
Yes.
Fake gold flakes.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
So where do you put,
those are fun.
Yeah, so would you put the glue on first and then sprinkle them over, or?
Well, no, this stuff is more like a plasticky sheet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you do put the glue down, and then you place the gold leaf down. I sometimes use a brush because it is messy. Like, it doesn't want to let go, and it will crumple and not necessarily do what you want it to do, but it's fun.
Yeah, and that's what I'm realizing. Fun, loving, all those sort of things. Oh my God, I'm going to have to put some money aside and go down. I still got some birthday money, so I might have to go down and start looking at some of these things, But again, like you said, coming back to the love, when my niece helped me organize something for my birthday at Mum's, the care facility, with her little one. So it was the first ever time. Oh, it was so lovely having the 4 generations there. And Mum wasn't doing too well at that point. Well, she still isn't, but her memory and her mind. But what was lovely, Mum's Reiki hands are still very strong. So I held Mum's hand, felt the energy. Then it naturally went to my niece's hand, felt the energy. Then she was able to put her, because she's also Reiki 1, practitioner.
Yeah.
Able to attune her. Then she touched her baby, and there was this beautiful, and I can still feel the energy. There was this beautiful infusion of energy and love going through the generations that linked Mum to the baby who was in, because she couldn't easily hold her. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. And I can feel the energy still. That's just charged it up. So these are all the different ways of creating love in through art, or just doing it that way. How else can you create love in your life? Now, what is your love language, as they say?
Oh, I don't know anything. I've heard about the love languages, but I've never actually read about them. So
I think the way I see love language, again, anyone wants to comment, I see it as it's how you express your love. And I think this is why often people have misunderstandings, because you want it a certain way. either your
And
partner or your spouse or your friend gives it to you in their way, and sometimes it can not be what you want, so therefore blah blah blah. So it's learning what do you give. So I know now that I'm back on track, when I lost my confidence for a while with cooking, part of my love language, and that comes from both my parents, is food.
yes. Yeah.
Mum always said she always thought of who she was cooking for, considering the okay, Pam, there is a book about love languages. It's interesting. Despite what was going on in our home, the violence and the whatever, Mum was still able to infuse this energy into the food, or if she was having guests or family, relatives around when we came back to Australia. So that's a love language.
Yeah.
It could be that I know my partner does things more practical rather than romantic.
Right.
And I've learned
More
that
of a
that's his love.
doing.
Yeah, exactly right. More of a doing. That's his way of doing it. So a few moments in over the years where I've gone, he goes, but that's, he's sort of said, but I did it because I love you. And like, oh, okay, but how about just, but
I'd like a nice dinner out and a card and some flowers, maybe.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So that's just not part of his life. He just does it differently. And it's learning to be able to accept that. Yes, Pam, it is lovely. I have to say it was really beautiful. It's one that we're always treasuring, the one with the 4 generations. So, it is just interesting. So, love for your animals.
Yep.
The love they give you.
Yeah. And unconditionally too, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yes. And that is something really difficult to learn, is how to be loving without judgment, with acceptance, and as you said, unconditionally. Not easy to do.
No, and I think it does have to be pretty conscious. Like that, I think needs to be a conscious choice because it does take effort, right?
Yes, it does.
Whatever that unconditional love is for whomever it is.
Yeah. And that's when all your old stories come in, your old doubts, your old, expectations. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And I know I bring that into my art. I have big expectations of what I think I'm going to create, and it doesn't come out like it at all. So I've had to really let go. And that comes back to, like you said, love, compassion. You're giving it a go because you're trying. See, you're teaching me how to be, as is my partner, because it's just how to explore and just try, give it a go. Give it a go. But I want every piece to be like, not quite a masterpiece. I know that's not realistic, but I'd like to have every piece that has come out in a way that I'll go, yes, rather than, oh, really? Not what I had in mind.
Yeah, I didn't quite manage to get that vision out there the way I had it.
Yes, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So it's just, but having said that, I think part of the loving, doing what you're doing or whatever it is, how you create, is being able to say, I did it. I love it for what it is. I love it because I actually sat down and did it. I took the time. I had the courage to step out of, for me, it is definitely my comfort zone. But whatever it is for anyone else, what is your comfort zone? As I look back over the pieces, I go, really, how, did I do that? And some of them I liked, but at the time I was proud because I did it.
Yeah.
So
I remember that when I did actually attempt painting when I was quite young. And I had a thing for painting trees.
yeah.
And I loved them. I thought I just did this amazing painting. And I remember giving one to my aunt and uncle because I just loved this aunt and uncle. And so I gifted them this tree painting. And I think they actually did hang it in their bathroom for a while, which was very sweet because, of course, it was it was probably a hot mess. but that was interesting.
It is interesting because I remember, oh, my puppy love. Oh my God, when you fall in love at 14, 15, oh my God, it's such a different, that's the love of your life, or you think it is at the time. And
Yeah.
he was one of those really artistic, but also brilliant. He became, what did he become? A neurologist or something, and then traveled the world with him. I'd lost touch with him, but I caught up with him again in my late mid-20s. Anyway, when I went back to Switzerland, because I was brought up in Switzerland. So he was my big puppy love. But why I'm sharing that with you is that I saw one of his pieces that I absolutely loved. And he doesn't easily at that point share them, because what happened was he gave one to a friend and they stuck it in their toilet, and he was most upset, because in the toilet.
Oh, hung it in the bathroom.
Hung it in the no, actually in the toilet, not the bathroom, the toilet, in, how you have your, yes. So, it wasn't even in the bathroom. So I said, I'd never do that. But isn't that interesting how you saw, he just went, oh my God, it's in that. So at that point, he was so upset that his beautiful piece of art had been hung in the toilet. So that put him off giving anything to anyone for a long time. So you see, again, it's how we perceive things, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
wow. I forgot too that, yeah, in Europe, often you have the separate toilet from the bathroom, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly right. And in Europe as well, we have, I suppose we do here too, we had a particularly, the powder room. I suppose you have that in powder room. So when we lived in our apartment, we had entry, powder room, happened to be my bedroom, lounge, and then the bathroom on the other side with the toilet in it. So yes, we had our guest room, guest yes. Toilet. Yes. So I'm not quite sure which one it went into, but to him that was an insult. I shouldn't laugh, but I in a way I get it, but because really I know you do. Precious is the word that keeps coming up, but I sort of wonder, we froze. Kids drawing are the best. Their unfettered creativity gets on the paper. Exactly. What you create reveals their psyche as well. So that must have been when you were talking about your hot mess.
Yes.
Yes.
My
so
his drawings. Yeah. She is right. I love my grandson. And I love watching this because I didn't have this, right? Art wasn't really a thing. Certainly in my house. So I, of course, give him art supplies and we do art together. And he does art on his own. And he's quite a prolific little artist.
Yeah.
And I gave him canvases. So I see these, it's like his new artwork is like hanging on the wall in places, or it's up on his wall in his bedroom. And he's just having a ball playing around.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's always so happy to show me when I go for a visit, right? He's like, oh, my, look. And I always end up coming home with some kind of art from him, beautiful, which I love.
Yeah. I think it also depends what household you brought up in as well, isn't it? And I know when I look back at my schooling, it was so rigid, and you had to do it as, you had to have it as realism. You weren't able to sit down and just create art for art's sake. And see, my mum actually was an artist, but she never really developed it until she came back to Australia. And but we did sit down with my niece, her granddaughter, and she did the art with her, and I did the more active things. But I'm realizing now I can't wait, because I'm doing more art, is to sit down with her and her daughter. And hopefully I can do more of that with her. Like you said, just be a hot mess. And then I can be a hot mess too, because I remember her saying to me, God, she was all of 4 or 5, and I was doing some art with her, and I was really stilted and, and constipated about it, And she looks at me and goes, oh, not bad, Auntie. That just told me everything I needed to hear.
Okay.
That was so funny, and so this time around, a bit different.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go away and have some really good food for thought about all these crystals and glitters and all sorts of things.
Yeah. You will.
And you're right. And Pam says, I just read it again, it reveals their psyche. I think you're right. And I think it also, as I'm exploring with also my writing, the memoir, and my posts on Substack and art, you're right, Pam. It is really revealing. And I was just your psyche, and what I've just written on my Substack post was interesting. That Pam brings it up. I was reading The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron and going through that, and she said it helps you find your personal truth. And I thought it has been this journey when I started it over the last 10, 11 months has truly revealed things, or I don't know, I can't even use the word. It's just been unbelievable. And I think the art, in whatever form you do it, is really helps you look at things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling myself a little bit lost in all this because I was so excited to look back where I was, as I said, nearly a year ago to where I am now, the decisions I'm making in my life. I most probably would never have done that if I hadn't been more and more in my art, writing, things like that. It's been a solace in a way. It's been a solace.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I think art gifts you the time with yourself.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
And if you can approach it without, get to the place where you do let the judgment go and just be with whatever it is you're creating, it really does gift us that time with ourselves, with our souls, and with our creativity, which is, I think, pretty amazing.
Yeah. And I think the big one is that you just said is without judgment. I think that's something that's really, each time I come down, I let it go a little bit more of that judgment or self-judgment. I can now come down a lot more with, like you said in that one behind, being an artist, what it meant for you. It's like that really turned it around. I get excited. I mean, I can still procrastinate and fine. I've still got to go and, wash the dishes first because I still haven't got quite there. But it is about letting go of preconceived ideas.
Yes, definitely.
Which you can then take, obviously, into your life.
Yeah.
And I have found that really, really useful. All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to say about love?
There's my
my goodness,
today.
look at you. Oh.
I have sparkles on there. Yeah, or glitter. I don't think it's showing up.
No, not really. But wow. So where's the glitter? Put your finger just so we can. Where have you put the?
I have some glitter up here. I have some glitter on the bottom of the flower. I put some glitter in this bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Pam. Happy Valentine's Day. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day, Pam.
Yes. And enjoy your birthday, Pam. Have a wonderful, wonderful time. Full of love and joy. Oh my goodness, that was so good. Yeah,
that was
thank you so much. That was good. Great, great topic. And as you said, we went on all sorts of wonderful journeys. So we look forward to seeing everyone next week. Anyone's got any topics, please put them down that we can explore as we do art, and have a wonderful week, whichever way you celebrate, don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Celebrate love. I think that's it. Just celebrate love.
Just celebrate love. Love is always worthy of celebration every day, all the time.
Exactly right.
And there
exactly
we go.
Right. Exactly right. Love to you all. Love to you, Rodine. Thanks, Pam. Everyone watching.
Bye, Pam.
Bye.